Hi, welcome to this training on how to prepare the dynamic calendar from Tabs and Icon Consulting. My name is Dankaro Ezuzu. In this training, we're going to learn how to prepare this calendar, and I'm going to be pretty fast so that we can run through this in no time. Now, this calendar is dynamic because as I begin to change these dates, my calendar is changing. So I come here and I just take the drop down and select any particular date. Now, if I select the current month, December, and you see that the particular date is highlighted here. Now, how did we get to prepare this calendar? We've used several functions, and the first one is we're going to look at the weekday, the date. These are functions that we've used for this calendar. The day function. We also use today function to determine this particular current date. We use the if function, the Vlookup function, as well as the concatenate function. Now, for concatenate, we could have as well used the ampersand or the test join function. Now, we've also used the validation list to get these particular drop downs, and then we use the conditional formatting new rule to get the various colors for this. So let's go to the main report and then run through it. Now, at the end of the day, if this interests you and you want to build yours, you can easily send us a test with the description dynamic calendar to 234-8037061602 and include your email to receive the write-up and the procedure on how to prepare this dynamic calendar. So let's move together. Now, the first thing I've done is just to take month here and year here. Now I have here my month January down to December. So all I did was just to type January and then I filled down to this to get my 12 months. Now I did my date from 1990. I just dragged down to 2030. You can make yours shorter or longer. Now I've indicated the month numbers. I'm going to explain briefly why we have to do this. Now I have here my month Sundays, the same thing I did my Sunday and use my fill handle to drag down to Saturday, which is the last date. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to come here. I already have my days and drop down. Let me come here first and decide to add this to this so that when I have here, I'll be having here May 2020, and that's where I'm going to use my concatenate function. I'll say concatenate. I move here, I take a comma. Of course, I need a space there, so I'm going to have a space and then I pick this. Okay, so that is May 2020. Now, the moment I change any of this, it should automatically reflect here. Now, I want to center this, but I don't want to break the cells by using merge and center. So I'm coming here, take my alignment, and then under this, I take my center across and I take OK. So this has done it. So now the next thing is we want to know this particular August 2020, what is the first date there? So I'm going to say date. I use the date function. I'm going to ask for year, so I pick the year here and I take comma. The next is going to ask for month. Now I can't take this month because the month is asking is a serial number. So if I pick this and I take comma and I'm looking for the first day and I take 1, without hitting the button, I know it's going to give me an error. So if I hit this, it's giving me an error because my A2, which is the month, is not a number. So what do? I'm going to use the Vlookup to extract that. So I say the year is this. This is my year. Now when it asks for month, I already have the months here and these are the days. So I'm going to look up whatever month is there. I say Vlookup this in this range, and then I should take the second column, which is the month. Of course, because I'm using Vlookup, I'm going to select first, and I say I need the first day of the month. Now, 1st August. So what day is that? If I use my weekday, for example, and I pick this is going to be 7, and 7 would be a Saturday. Because if I do my test, if I take a test and I take this and I take comma, I do my DDD, this will give me a Saturday. So 7th is Saturday. Now, so I don't have to bother about it. I already know what my day is. But then I'm going to come to this place, which is the first day. Now, we all know that the first day is usually not first, because from this, we know that the first of this month is going to be a Saturday. But then we know we have dates standing before the particular first date of the month. We also have date probably from the previous month. So I'm going to come here and say equal to, I'm going to take this. Of course, I'm going to hold that fixed. Okay, it's already fixed, minus the weekday, because I'm going to have a weekday that is not falling on that particular day. And the weekday, which is this particular day, the weekday of that particular one. I just need to take out 1, and I close my bracket and I hit my enter key. Now, this is the serial number. We all know that dates and time are represented by serial number. So let's not bother about that particular one. We'll format as date later. So the next thing we're going to do is to move down a little bit. Let me move down to the next cell beneath that particular one. So I'm going to highlight, let me say 2, 3, 4, 5, that'll be okay. This is where my calendar will appear. I'm going to hold my control key and take this and then get up to this. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to say equal to if what? If the value that is here, which is whatever is here, is either less or equal to nothing. So let me put it that way. I take a comma. It should give me whatever is here plus 1, because these are incremental by 1. And I take a comma. If not, the value should be the previous date plus 1. And I hit my control and enter. Fantastic. These are all my dates. Don't bother about some being 2 decimal places, and that's not an issue because they are all numbers. Now the next I need to do is to format as date, because I've gotten my dates. I just come here and I take this. Wow, these are my calendar dates. But that's not the way calendars appear. We know that calendars appear only, I didn't format this. Let me format this one. Short date. Okay. You know that calendars appear, only the days appear. So we don't go to have 27, 7 days and stuff. It's just going to be only the days. So let's try to take out the months and the years. So what do? I come here. Now we have the date as it has appeared there. So I'm going to custom. Another custom, you see that this is the dates appearing day, month, and year. But I don't want the year. I don't want the month. So I just take it out and I select OK. Great. So this is our calendar. We are getting set gradually. So the next thing now is just to dress the table. That shouldn't be a problem. Let me a little bit spice this up. Let's select some numbers. I like to use area black. Okay, so let's move it up a little bit. Okay, cool. So we do that also for this. Okay, I'm just doing. Now I can also do this for the date. Okay, now I just want to create this, and then we're gradually setting it up. Now we know that this is the calendar for August 2020. If I click on June, this is calendar for June. But the calendar this way is not very fine, because when you pick a normal calendar, you will see that, okay, this one is September. These first 2 dates, 30th and 31st, they don't belong to this month. Now, this first down to 5th, they don't belong to this month. So let's try to highlight them a little bit so that the colors are a bit faint to differentiate them. So I'm going to click on that. I highlight the whole thing. I go to my conditional formatting and I pick new rule. Of course, under new rule, we can type a formula by use a formula to determine which cell we want to format. So I come here straight. And what am I going to say? I'm going to say if any of these dates does not fall within this month, it should take it to the format I want. So I'm going to say equal to month. We all know that a month is a function, equal to month. And I click this. Now I'm going to leave this absolute so that since I intend to copy, so I'm going to say this. If this doesn't belong to, that is not equal to any of this month, So I'm opening a month again, and I'm saying if that doesn't belong to this particular month, that is okay. I take it again. If any date within this highlighted area doesn't fall within this, that is my definition. What happened? I'm going to format those particular days. So for font, I want, let's take a light color, something like this. Okay, and that is for the font. Then for the field, we should take similar color. And that's also all I do, just to click OK. And then I click OK. Great. So you see, the numbers that don't belong to this particular area will be formatted separately. So if I pick any other month, let's pick June, you see these are the figures that don't belong to any of those dates. So this is how our calendars are formatted. Now we are gradually wrapping up our calendar. What next is just to beautify the calendar. The next we're going to do is, if we select a current date, let that date be highlighted separately. So I'm going to highlight this, for example, and I'm going back to my conditional formatting. I'm going to take new rule, and what do? I click on this, and this time I'm going to say if this one equal to this, I'm going to also open it up because I will copy. Okay, if that one, that is D7, let me put a bracket just in case. Let me put a bracket. Okay, if this one is equal to today, we know that today is a function, is equal to today. Now what happened? I want to format the cell separately. So if any of those numbers is equal to today's date, so let's format separately. Let's pick, what do we have there? We had green there, I guess. We had green, and then the font was it white? The font was white, I think so. So let's use, you can use any number. Now I click OK. Fine. We are not seeing any effect there because we are not on any current month. So let's select December 2020 because that is the current month. If I select December 2020, cool. You can see it's already formatted separately. Now this is how to prepare our calendar. The next is just creating shapes around it, and that shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to come here and say insert. I get here, and I can take any of these shapes. Let's take something like this, and all I need is just to draw it around it. Yeah, to just draw it around it, and I can come here and a little bit pike it up to say this. Okay, and I'm done. So I move here. I just take this, so I can drag that other one down here. Great. And I do the same thing. I move this here. All I need to do is take this one, so I can reduce the length of this one. I move this one here, reduce the length here. Okay, so let's try to make some adjustments. Okay, cool. That's it. Our calendar is set now. I just need to move this one a little bit down. Yeah, and the last part of it down here. Now I said Ctrl V and I move this one down to this other side. Now my calendar is now set. So what do I need to do? I come here, I highlight the whole of this one. Of course I don't need this anymore, so I come here, right click, and I take hide. I come here, right click, and I take hide. So that's our calendar. All I need to do now is just to be hovering around in this particular area. Let me remove the grid line. Okay, I can just take white background. Let me remove the grid line. This is cool. So this is our calendar. I want to still paint this one so that I can get it a little bit out. Okay, and this one another color. Okay, this is our calendar. Of course, I don't need this place. I don't need this place to show. So what I do, I can just mark it up with white. This is all that I need. So I have my calendar here. I'm going to be shuffling it as the way I want. It's a dynamic calendar. You can take any particular year as long as you've defined it. It can take year both before and after. But the only time that it will show you a current day is when you select a current month and a current year. Like I'm doing now, I'm going to select 2020 and I will see my highlighted. Now I can also decide that I want my Sundays to be in red. So I come here and I select red for my Sundays. And that's all. Thank you very much for listening. Like I said, if you're interested in knowing how to prepare this calendar and you want to do it on your own, don't forget, send a text to dynamic to 234-8037-061602 with name dynamic calendar, and don't forget to include your email, and you will receive the write-up on how this was done and you can prepare yours. Thank you.